Here's an idea. What if every movie took place in the same universe? I'm Erik Scott.
What up? It's your boy, Rich Mike.
Yo, it's Arman.
Was it the best movie I've ever seen? Yeah, probably.
Thank you, baby.
And this is Across the Movieverse.
Yeah. Yo, what are we talking about?
All right, we are here.
Boys are back in town.
We're back.
And welcome to Across the Movieverse, where it's all connected, baby.
Ooh, new catchphrase. It's all connected, baby.
What's going on?
Not much.
Anything cool?
Just fucking chilling.
Yeah. Getting some IO theaters, doing some chicken tender deal. So I'm having my roommate pick up some chicken tenders and
Nice.
beer from IO for me.
What kind of sauce?
Chicken tenders from an improv theater. That's
Yeah.
good.
You gotta. I don't think they made any of their money on their improv shows, anyways. They're pretty much just a chicken tender restaurant that has entertainment at night.
That's most of comedy clubs are just glorified like snack vendors that happen to have people following their dreams there. They got about $900 from me, I'm pretty sure. I took from their classes that I took there.
Oh, nice.
Didn't get any chicken tendies either.
Eric, that sash looks thick, man.
Thank you. It's pretty gross. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I got a mustache now.
I thought that was Arman. Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
It's you, Eric. Oh, man.
Yeah, we're the mustache boys now.
Yeah, it looks good, dude.
Because I trimmed up the rest of it too, which I normally keep a little stuck.
Yeah. Are you just staying away from from playgrounds now, or what?
You're muted, Eric.
Yeah,
Eric's working remotely. He traveled home. Wait, now I can hear you.
Oh, you got me?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
All right, we're back. Yeah, I'm back in my parents' house now. I'm staying in my parents' basement, and it's pretty nice. But I'm doing the 2-week isolation or whatever.
Yeah.
So like it's so weird because I'm at my parents' house, but I like barely see them. My mom will throw food from the top floor down to the basement, and it just like hits the ground, and that's what I eat.
Just like raw, like a raw steak, and
yeah, it's like that movie, The Platform. Have you seen that? Where it's like the food starts at the top, and then I just get the scraps, like whatever falls off their plate. It's just it's coming down.
Or like in Snowpiercer, they're just giving you like jelly cubes.
Yeah.
Protein.
It's been pretty nice, but it's funny. Like my dad and I watched John Wick 3 last night.
I haven't seen that one yet.
It's so good.
Yeah,
he sat like 6 feet behind me and wore a mask the whole time, like while we watched the movie. But those are the times we're living in.
Wearing a Keanu Reeves mask. He's just a huge John Wick fan.
Yeah, it was it was funny just because I'm like, man, shaking hands was all my dad and I had. So it sucks.
Yeah, right.
How are fathers going to show love to their sons if they can't shake their hands?
Are you stuck in the basement? Are you turning the lights on as your parents are walking up and down the steps, Parasite style?
Oh yeah, I'm sending like Morse code with my head.
Like yeah.
I'm the Korean man stuck in the basement. But it's nice. I mean, my parents, it's a pretty big basement. I can like walk around and stuff. It's nice.
Nice. But, as long as you got that space,
Yeah, dude. I mean, compared to my apartment in Brooklyn, I have infinitely more space now.
You could do so many more things.
But yeah. Well, this week we watched the Steven Seagal classic by Arman's recommendation, Under Siege.
Great movie.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Very good.
I was texting my dad about. I might be in the minority. I don't think so, but I think of when I think of Steven Seagal, I think of fat, shitty, ponytailed movies, and this movie was amazing. But then after doing some research and talking to my dad, he's like, "Yeah, that's by far Steven Seagal's best movie."
Mm-hmm.
Like this almost changed my whole outlook on Steven Seagal. And then I did a little research, and it's like the only movie above 50% on Rotten Tomatoes that he's ever done. And he's done a lot.
He's done so many movies.
The best one that I love, obviously this movie, but the one Machete, when he's the bad guy in Machete, he's just super overweight. Like you said, like he has a ponytail. Just great.
Like barely doing his own, like definitely not doing his own fight scenes. Just like big fat creep is what I'm picturing.
Yeah, and then he's like an actual cop too. He's like a state trooper, I think.
What?
Oh, what?
No,
yeah, I'm pretty
maybe
sure
honorary, like Shaq is. Maybe he's not.
No,
actually.
I think he had his own TV show where he would go around and arrest people. It was just like him on his phone, like arresting people.
It was like
imagine getting pulled over by him.
He was catfishing people.
Oh yeah, hold on. I'm gonna Google it really fast and see.
He was great in this movie. I couldn't pick his accent out because he like when he was driving with he's an ex-Navy SEAL who got in a fight with his old bosses, so then they demoted him, and he's a cook on the USS Missouri, an old naval ship. He's in the Navy, and he's jiving with the kitchen crew so well.
Go cue ball. Go cue ball.
Go cue ball. Go cue ball. I would have paid $100 to see Steven Seagal dance with cue ball. I thought so. They had when they're driving around, they have cue ball dancing another kitchen staff member, and then it cuts to someone's feet, and I was like, before it shows who the second person dancing is, and I was praying that it was Steven Seagal dancing, but.
I wanted it to be like that video of the state trooper, or not the state trooper, the Mountie or wildlife preserve guy, who's the two black guys are dancing, and then like the dorky looking white dude walks in, and he just starts just cooking it up and throwing it down, and the black dudes are loving it, and they're the best of friends, and I think it's the best thing for race relations I've seen in the last 2 years.
That's like my favorite YouTube video of all time.
It's unbelievable.
Cut that in the ear during editing.
Yeah, real quick. So I did a quick Google. It's a documentary series called Steven Seagal, Lawman. And, and the biography just on the Google front page, it goes, it turns out Steven Seagal doesn't come to the rescue in just his movies. He's a real-life deputy with the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office in Louisiana, a position he's held for close to 2 decades.
What?
Shit.
Yeah. Could you imagine... Oh, man, he is filling out this bulletproof vest in these photos.
I have to Google this.
Dude, he is fat as shit.
Yeah.
Lawman, is that what it's called?
Lawman, yeah. His own reality show.
Oh, man, that's great, yeah.
I feel like this, back in the 80s and 90s, Steven Seagal was like rivals probably with Jean-Claude Van Damme. And like as Van Damme does all of his own fighting stunts in his movies, I was thinking Seagal, they showed someone cooking. Seagal does all of his own cooking stunts in this movie, like as a fuck you to Van Damme. Well, I could do my shit too.
Well, I wrote down like just like right when it happened, I didn't understand why he was a chef. Like why is he cooking? What do you think his signature dish would be?
Well, it sounds like it was something that I can't even. I had subtitles on and I saw it twice. It's like bolognese or something like that.
Oh,
that was the captain's
bolognese. Yeah.
Bolognese.
Well, and he was real concerned about his pies.
And then, oh yeah,
he looks like a pecan pie kind of guy.
Yeah, I can see that.
He's got to wear he had to cut off his ponytail because his hair kept falling into the pie, and that's why it wasn't because of the Marines. It was because of the.
Because of the pie.
They had to edit out his ponytail to make it more realistic, like they had to do with
Henry Cavill.
His mustache, yeah. The technology was way ahead of its time.
He
refused to cut it.
The effects budget was $100 million just to get rid of the ponytail.
Can you imagine when he did have to cut it off for this, that cancer patient that got Seagal's hair
absolutely
as a wig?
Do you think it was like a like Mike scenario where he gets his powers? Like he
starts just beating the shit out of the nurses.
Oh yeah. Well,
very good cook.
You think he talks in his voice too, that like low, like hey.
hey, well, like that's.
Hey, can you get my pies out of the oven? Huh?
His accent was absolutely insane.
Man. It kind of threw me off in this because I've seen other Steven Seagal movies. I just can't I could not name another one if you put a gun to my head.
That's probably one right there. Put a gun to my head. I would guarantee that's the name of a Steven Seagal movie. I would guarantee it.
Well, that's the only other one I've seen. But his voice did throw me because he talks like a sweetheart, you know. He's trying to soothe a wounded animal all the time. Like, hey man, hey, just put the gun down. just stop with the nuclear codes, Tommy Lee Jones.
Hey, you got shifter brains, man.
It's like that old Mark Wahlberg sketch on SNL where Mark Wahlberg talks to animals. He's like, "Hey, what's up, donkey? You look good. Say hi to your mother for me."
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah. Real quick, speaking of Mark Wahlberg, I watched Boogie Nights the other night. Classic.
Yeah, it is a good movie.
Talk about hogs.
I haven't seen it in a long time. Yeah, right.
Defoe for the body double.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, do you think that the fake penis that they used to make Wahlberg's hog bigger was the same fake hog they used to make Defoe's hog look smaller?
Yeah. Like the Defoe's porridge is too hot, Wahlberg's porridge is too cold. That prosthetic dick porridge is
that medium, that warm temp.
So every time before the very end, when you see Wahlberg's hog, people would look at it and their eyes would get real big, and sometimes I think that in the briefcase of Pulp Fiction is Mark Wahlberg's hog when it's glowing.
And
that's a little side universe.
And he's just like, "Oh yeah, that's a nice fucking hog." Because John Travolta is a closet homosexual, is the rumor. So he could have been real impressed with that.
Yeah,
that hog.
I was right before I left New York. One of the guys who lives in my building, who is an out of the closet homosexual. Very brave, and he was explaining to me how it goes down in the steam rooms at gyms when you're going and cruising to
bruising.
I don't know.
Well, you know that line in Always Sunny where the guy comes in, he goes, "Hey, I'm just here to wipe down the loads."
Yeah,
that's 100% true. Like,
what?
I mean, honestly, it was so insane. I was so interested in losing it when he was telling me that these guys would go in steam rooms and public gyms, and there's this whole dance they have to do to find out if the other person's interested. And say if there's two gay dudes in there that want to get after it, but there's one guy who's straight or just isn't into it. No, if he's straight, they have to wait for him to leave. So they're just eyeing this guy. They're literally sweating it out, just waiting for this dude to leave in this gays are passing out left and right.
Yeah, right.
I would hope they would wait it out, but yeah, that's what's
they're dropping flies, fruit flies, and then they have all these signals that they do. Literally like a pitcher and a catcher. They're putting signals between their legs, trying to get the curveball.
I saw a praying mantis dance, a mating ritual.
Yeah. Absolutely. They send signals. They're doing it through the steam. But the best part was just if somebody's in there that's not interested, they wait for the person to leave. And then if someone comes back in, walks in as they're going to town on each other, they have to pull apart real quick, like you're in high school, making out with some chick in your parents' basement, you know?
Can you imagine walking in on that? Whoa.
How many chicks did you make out with in that basement you're currently sitting in?
I think maybe two ever in 26 years. A lot of good memories down here, boys.
two lucky ladies though,
Yeah, I remember one was so bad. I was on a break with my high school girlfriend, and I made out with this girl down here, and it was so disgusting. I called her plunger mouth to all my friends because remember she pulled off of my mouth and it made a sound like a plunger leaving a toilet. And I stopped talking to her like that night and texted my girlfriend like, I miss you so much, baby. I've been out here. Yeah, I've been outside. There's nothing else better than you out there. God damn. Yeah, a lot of good memories coming back.
That's great. Yeah, right.
Hell, plunger mouth.
Yeah. So they're on the well, a little context, I guess. They're on a battleship, the SS Missouri, which it takes place 50 years after Pearl Harbor, and they're about to decommission it, which is like they're docking it somewhere to get rid of all of the there's like nuclear weapons on there and stuff.
Yeah. Tomahawks and everything.
Cue a bunch of it's the commander's birthday, or the highest ranking officer's birthday, and they're bringing in some entertainment. They got a band, they got caterers with really good food, they got a Playboy model. Everybody's all jacked up, and it turns out that these are actually the bad guys, everybody except the Playboy model, and they decide to take over the battleship.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when Tommy Lee Jones is, before they decide to like break the plan open, Tommy Lee Jones is playing in a band in front of he's like playing a harmonica, and there's other members of the bad team like playing in a band. Do you think that they made the plan first and then scouted the crew, or they like realized they're like oh, you guys play music, we could probably add that into the plan?
Yeah, I'd like a Little Rascals or School of Rock-esque montage of them figuring out
practicing
what their strongest instrument is, and then them practicing and trying to figure it out.
I would love if that became a different movie. They just decide to scrap the plan, and they're like, "We're hitting the road."
Yeah, they kick ass at the SS Missouri, and they're like, "Fuck it, we're going on tour, baby."
Wait a second, like, we rock.
Boss, when were you gonna shoot the commander in the head? He goes, I don't know. It was after our second or third jam session. It really kicked it over. Well, I was thinking they'd be holding interviews for the position, and Tommy Lee Jones like sitting at a table was like, all right, your resume looks great, speaks for itself. You seem ruthless. You've killed thousands. Real quick, do you play any instruments?
All the United States like leaders are sitting around a table, Dr. Strangelove style, after Tommy Lee Jones, and Gary Busey's a commander on the ship, and people don't like him, and he's a creep as always, but they take over the ship, and they're calling the captains. Oh man, I forgot what I was gonna say.
I think this movie's kind of ahead of its time, because Gary Busey comes out in a wig and a fake boobs and dressed as a woman, a drag show basically is what he was doing, and everyone's loving it.
They brought the Playboy model, and so the joke was that Busey comes out early, saying like, "Oh, this is the woman. Look at this.
I'm gonna get you going."
I wrote down. I go, so brave, first of all, that he's doing that.
Courageous.
But also, no one asked him to do that. I don't
There
think.
was no reason for him
No reason. It was strictly for a joke, and he's about to overrun they're about to fire nuclear weapons at Honolulu. He's like, I got a good bit. I'm going to run.
I read that Seagal just brought in that actor. He wanted like a hot sidekick, so they wrote her in originally. And after watching the movie and reading that, I was like, that makes total sense, because after the initial meeting between Busey and the woman, the Playboy model who ends up stripping at the show, or would end up popping out of the captain's cake and stripping, which is a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
They just completely forget about her. She takes sleeping pills, and then that's the last Busey thinks about her, cares about her, knows about her, talks about her. They could have edited her in after the fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just shot scenes with Seagal.
Well, and then because I was thinking, I had written down before her return, I go, what happened to this like roofied woman that's just like in a broom closet somewhere. She was feeling seasick, and Busey's like, "Here, take a few of these," and she took more. And
she roofied herself. Let the record show.
Yeah,
she roofied herself. You know, what was she wearing? The whole thing.
Yeah, you know.
And then then Seagal is like walking around and like bumps into the cake, which starts the music, and then she pops out and in a thong, turns around, boobies out.
Boobies are
but
out.
All I was thinking is like, so it had to have been in the storyline like 4 hours. So she's either fell asleep in the cake and then just resumes her job, or wakes up in a cake and was like, he's like, all right, well, I'm already here.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way to explain that. Like, it had to have been an afterthought thing.
Like, she wakes up. Yeah. She must have woken up all mixed up, didn't see another person, changed, or really just took off her clothes and then hopped in a cake and set it up herself into an empty room.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's like dead guys around too. So there's just no way to explain why she was in there for so long, and then just immediately would be like, "Oh, now's my cue.
Time to go."
Or she's just that much of a professional. Like
she might be that much of a professional. We don't know how much she got paid. You know,
she takes her job that seriously. How scary do you think it would be to be the only woman on a ship full of hundreds of just sea-ridden sailors?
Yeah, that's exactly what
probably not that scary, you know, because
it's irresponsible. They were barking at her when she was just walking onto the boat, going nuts and like fainting and stuff.
They almost
popped out of that cake with her boobies out. They would have ripped her to shreds. Oh my goodness!
I mean, they almost went after Busey.
Yeah.
And he looks half as good as her, you know.
You know, I mean, he doesn't have rhythm, and I know like why it's very clear why no one liked him. Like he's just a twerp and like kind of a puss. Like no one respects him.
Yeah.
Movie.
Yeah.
I did like Tommy Lee Jones vibe at the beginning though. Like he's got the bandana and the leather jacket, and he's just like, yeah, man,
he's just fucking rock and roll.
He looks so old. He's the worst undercover person in the world. I would never believe that he's got wrinkles in his face for fucking days, dude.
He's like one of those actors that just like has stayed the same age his whole life.
It's always been 75.
Yeah. He's like a 75-year-old man since he was fucking 13.
Yeah. Well,
like as soon as he hit puberty, just the wrinkles came in and everything.
They had to DH him to play his own age.
Between that and the ponytail budget, this thing it was like a nightmare in post-production. Now, so during all this, as eventually the band led by Tommy Lee Jones, they decide to pull their plane. They start shooting everybody, and they lock up a bunch of the sailors. And Steven Seagal is locked in the meat locker, the freezer at this point, because he decided to punch Gary Busey, and they locked him up. So that means they kind of forget about him. Everyone else is accounted for, locked up, killed, but then he's in there, and which leads us into him deciding to save the day.
Yeah. Breaks out of the meat locker and then kills a bunch of dudes. He gets in touch with the generals around the table and is like, there's probably 30 men aboard. He kills 25 people in the first like 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. Like he can't be that worried after that. He's like, he killed most of the army. Yeah. This is what I was going to say earlier. They keep saying like, how did you when they realize who Tommy Lee Jones is and he's an ex-CIA guy, and they're like, you let him raise his own army, you're losing it. They should have said, you let him raise their own army and they rock. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. That part where once Steven Seagal finds the naked woman in the cake, and then he takes her into a back room and was like trying to just keep her there to protect her, and he shoves her in a locker like high school bully style. And she starts freaking out immediately. And I'm like, you were just in a cake for like 2 weeks. Like, you can't be in a locker. Like, you're fine, lady. But she was smoking hot. She
eventually up, puts on a forward baseball cap, and looks like my little cousin Tommy.
Yeah, and it was working for me.
Yeah.
She had the 90s, like a little bit of hair coming through the.
Oh my
Jesus Christ! Your hair is so long, dude.
It's insane. Dude. Oh my gosh, Tim Riggins looking ass.
Yeah,
I got his shirt on right now. I got the Tim Riggins shirt.
Yeah, wow.
That's why I said you don't look like Tim Riggins.
She's got her backwards hat on, looking real hot. She's looking like a dude, real hot.
It's nothing better than women looking like dudes,
Dude, that's what I'm looking for. Just face of a dude, body of also a dude. And she becomes like this cool soldier. She keeps having, there's this like thing where she keeps saying she doesn't like guns and all that, but she's a pretty good shot and really fucks up some people.
Yeah. We find out Busey didn't know that the cook was an ex-Navy SEAL, so then they start freaking out. And Seagal just goes through the entire ship, rescuing his cooking crew, rescuing the sailors, and just killing so many people. What a cool, they're building a crane on the ship in order to move the nuclear missiles to a submarine that Tommy Lee Jones stole. What a cool arena for fight scenes with like metal railings and ropes and fire and
big ass guns and shit.
Henchmen all around. Like just him working through the ship was fucking sweet. Mm-hmm. He's a lot of cool fight scenes. He rips out a guy's fucking esophagus.
Yeah, that was insane.
Oh my God.
I forgot about that part. When I saw it again, I was like, holy shit.
And when he like runs the guy through the table saw.
Yeah. he's got a smile on his face when he's doing that.
And then he drops that steel beam.
Yeah. It goes right through well, yeah, because they show him killing guys like one by one, but they're all in the same place, but you don't see it until they do like 10 minutes later, like a walkthrough of just the wreckage, and there's just dudes hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Nowadays, this movie would be like 3 hours long, and they'd show him like tying up the traps and everything.
Home Alone.
Yeah.
Do you think a lot of guys got into cooking after this because they saw Seagal and they're like, "Oh, cool! I guess I can cook. Like, it's not gay anymore."
Or you think cooks started like fighting their employees?
Oh yeah, there was a lot more cross pollination between cooks and ninjas after this movie came out.
Well, here's my question: like, so if you're going, traditionally, if we're taking stereotypes traditionally, cooking was looked at as like a woman's job. This is historically, I don't believe it, whatever. but grilling was always like a manly thing. Yeah. What's the difference? It's the same thing. One's just like outside, Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't get it.
Is it the sense of like wood and fire? I don't get it either.
I don't know.
Something about an open flame and probably less ingredients. You're just tossing meat in a barrel versus mixing and matching and
getting creative.
Yeah.
Maybe because you're usually drinking while you're grilling. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. It's a great feeling especially when it's nice out. Flipping some burgers and drinking a Modelo.
Talking shit about women.
Yeah.
Just you and some hot meat.
I talked about how they ripped the dude's throat out. I'm assuming this movie was rated R because it was pretty gruesome. Do you think, even in general, like if a violent movie is locked in with an R rating, do you think like they just look for an excuse to throw boobs in there because like they're already they already got the rating, and boobs probably definitely wouldn't push it over the edge. I'm curious if studios think about it and they're just like, why not throw those boobs in there?
Yeah, because they definitely didn't need that scene. I'm glad they put it in there, but
yeah.
I don't think
the rating system is so strange. Like, I I've heard it's just kind of made up by like the group who does that. It's just kind of on the fly for each movie. Like you get a certain amount of swear words. You get, because after R, there's the NC-17 rating.
Yeah.
Or like not rated. And that can kind of like screw a movie because then they think it's like a porno or something.
Yeah.
So there's like a certain amount of boobs you can put in, maybe like five to seven boobs.
Yeah. Is it like a pair of boobs or is it like boobs in total? You know, like
no boobs in total. That's why they threw 3 in.
So like, because if it's 5 pairs, we're looking at 25 boobies. You know,
yeah, as long as they're attached to one woman.
Or 10 boobies. Jesus Christ!
How many boobs? You're talking about dog boobs, dude. How many boobs in a pair?
Ooh, the Airbud 5
Girls got real boobies.
I guess my mom probably, if I was going to see a movie or rent one, maybe she would look and see if it's just violence and not nudity, then rated R was fine.
Yeah.
But maybe not.
That kind of like reminds me of when I was in 6th grade. I had a sleepover with some buddies and we went to go see Resident Evil and my buddy couldn't watch it because it was rated R. So he had to like sit home while we went to the movie theater and then we got back and then he slept over our house and we just made fun of him. Sorry.
Did he stay at your house while you all went?
No.
He stayed at his own house.
He stayed at his own house and then when we got back to my house, he came over.
That would be so funny if he just sat in your empty house and
hung out
while you all went and saw the movie.
Yeah. No, my parents went to go see it too.
Your dad was making fun of him too.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I remember when I would rent movies with my cousin, we would go through, I think I've mentioned this before, the 5 for 5 for 5 deal at this one video store. It was 5 movies for 5 days for $5. And we would go through and rent, we would look for that little inn that stood for nudity, and we would try to get those, and then we would just fast forward. But when you would fast forward through a VCR, you know, it would have those like gray and like black lines across. So you're afraid, you know, sometimes you're fast forward too fast. Maybe the boob is under the is under the bars. So
and then you just kept fast forwarding and rewinding and ended up watching a hour and a half movie over the span of 2.5 hours.
Well, the worst part, so eventually I didn't have cable for a long time, but eventually we got cable and we had like HBO and stuff. So you could click info and it would say if it had nudity in the movie. But this is before DVR, so you couldn't fast forward. So we would end up just watching like these long movies, and then like the worst thing is if you watch it and then it's just like a little bit of a butt, like you watch the whole thing, you're like, that was it? That's all we get. All you get's a butt. And it was a dude butt.
You and your buddies watched
a Van Damme
movies up to the first boob or butt.
Yeah. Normally movies are divided by like acts, but I go by what boob they're in. It was at the end of act boob.
Yeah, I saw RoboCop, but only up to the first boob.
Yeah. After that, it was
after the second, after the third boob, it goes downhill.
Well, speaking of boobs, I love that Seagal would I love anything involving booby traps in movies, and and just using whatever he's got. He was pulling apart missiles and making like backpack bombs and stuff
with condom. Yeah, he does MacGyver a bunch of shit.
Why do they have a condom on?
Oh man, Navy boat. I didn't even think about that.
Man, those sailors, dude.
It was great.
Yeah, dude, they were definitely having sex with each other on that boat.
100%.
That's why Busey had a dress too.
They didn't call him cue ball because of his bald head.
Man, it goes down in the kitchen.
I was thinking that when he first escapes out of the the meat locker where he's locked up, he puts together a bomb in the microwave with things that are all just right within reach of the microwave. He doesn't take a step around the kitchen. He just pulls them all out and then makes a microwave bomb in 3 ingredients.
One of his specialties, he's a bomb specialist. So throughout the whole movie, he's always setting up a bunch of different like detonations, blowing shit up.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Well,
pretty much
at one
just putting
point,
grenades indoors.
Yeah, and like to where you turn the lock and it would pull the pin.
Yeah.
At one point they're reading his file, and it just goes on so long. It's like martial arts expert, bomb expert. Like I bet he
Executive
Steven Seagal is like, let's just add a few more things on there.
Come on.
It's like ballroom dancing expert,
that police officer,
lawman,
real life sheriff, deputy. Imagine having to be like his boss on the force and like tell him what to do. God damn it, Seagal, they'll have your badge for this one. He's like, no, I did it in a movie before.
It's okay.
The guy's innocent. He has a ponytail.
Last night, so I already said I watched John Wick 3 with my dad, and then we finished that movie, and all I was thinking was like, well, now I got to watch Under Siege for the for the podcast. Like, it feels like I have to.
Yeah. Now I have to, I gotta
watch more badass action.
I gotta press play, sit down, hard life.
I was looking for some Busey claps after watching the movie yesterday. He clapped to finish off some sentences in this movie as I cheered. It was great. He's when he's talking to Tommy Lee Jones about tracking down Seagal, who's killed a bunch of Tommy Lee Jones's men. He's pointing with a butcher's knife, and his line is, "The insanity is so logical." And I wanted to screenshot that and get that tattooed on my butt, because that's class. Just Busey with a butcher's knife, and that line that's so real.
Yeah. What does he say? What does he say to Tommy Lee Jones too? He's like, "Do I look like I need a psychologist or something like that?"
When he's in drag, he's like, "Yeah,
oh yeah." And back then, if you like to dress up as a lady, you had to go to a doctor.
Yeah.
yeah, you had to go to camp.
It's different times.
Mm-hmm.
Man, yeah, I just wrote down. I'm like, do you think Busey decided to dance as the woman, like just on his own? Like,
you think he went through a routine?
He must have.
Yeah, there's no way that this is like part of the script or in the world of the story that it needed to be part of the plan.
It literally has nothing to do with anything.
No. It was just a few jokes. He pulls off the wig, and eventually Seagal frees a bunch of his cohorts, his other soldiers that were trapped in different places. So now he's got a crew, and they start taking the boat back. They're firing up missiles. They're like making makeshift bombs and stuff. It's sweet. Yeah. At one point, a submarine from Korea that was stolen, which is the job that Tommy Lee Jones was originally on, because he's a former like defected military person or CIA person.
Yeah.
And that shows up. So Busey's taking care of that so they can get the nukes onto the submarine, and
sell them.
They blow up. They blow up the submarine from the destroyer boat.
Yeah,
which is a pretty cool scene.
Yeah.
Seagal's name.
They're swinging grappling hooks at Seagal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fish him out.
Seagal's name in this nickname is Chief. And and throughout the movie, Busey's like getting promoted from Tommy Lee Jones he was Commander Krill. Now he's Captain Krill. He's saying he'll be Admiral. I was praying to God that Steven Seagal was going to say, "What's a chief?" or "What's a captain to a chief?" and then kill Busey, but we never. That was a big missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but the best part at the very end, that final battle between Busey and Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
It's a knife fight, and
the wildest knife fight in a movie I've ever seen.
I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, I know.
They were just like, it honestly looked like just flailing at each other.
Right. Yeah, they're both holding small knives and going at it. And then they do that classic, like, lock up, like, one holding the arm, one each other. And Seagal grabs the knife in his mouth and rips it out of Tommy Lee Jones' hand, pokes out his eye, and then stabs him through the top of the head. Unbelievable.
Just makes work of him.
The knife fight is,
and it's not even so close because he's just picking them apart.
But how would you? I've never seen anyone remove a knife with their mouth like that. Like he bit it with his teeth. Like on the extremely sharp side of the knife.
Yeah. Like why wouldn't Tommy Lee Jones, just fucking, just jerk it a bit?
Like talking about putting yourself in a vulnerable position. Seagal, Jesus.
Dude, if you had a filling in his mouth too, that would hurt your teeth. Metal on metal would be pretty bad. Yeah. So, and then eventually they get the.
You think the Joker watched that movie and got the idea and it just went horribly wrong? Slices.
Yeah,
there's a deleted Heath Ledger scene where he's saying, "You want to know how I got these scars?"
I watched the Steven Seagal movie.
Yeah. Me and my buddy were doing reenacting a fight scene.
Yeah, when that happened, I was just like, "Oh yeah!" Like threw my hands in the air. So then, at this time, they'd already launched 2 like nuclear-tipped missiles at Honolulu, and so that's the last thing they have to stop these missiles. One gets taken out by an air squad, and the other one, Seagal is putting in codes and stuff. And the whole time, everyone's kind of like panicking, and he is just cool. Nothing phases him.
No,
he's the man.
After he inevitably saves the day, there's another scene where the whole crew's around him, loving him, and cue ball or someone asks Seagal to dance again, bust a move, and I almost creamed my shorts. I was so excited. And then classic Seagal fashion, here's a move for you, and then he kisses Miss July. For some reason, still has her boobs out.
The classic.
I wish you would have kissed one of his sailor buddies.
Yeah, right.
That would have been.
Here's
sweet.
a move for you.
It would have
pushes her down. Yeah. And cue ball starts dancing.
Yeah.
Then at the very end, they're doing like a salute or like a military funeral on the boat. Seagal is decked out in his dress uniform, dress blacks, I believe, and so he's reinstated. Then they show is he wearing white?
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was wearing a dark because he's like a high-ranking officer.
I think he was wearing black with the white hat.
Well, but then they show Miss July, and she's in like a black sailor's uniform, which is like, are you just in the Navy now?
Did she join the Navy?
She's really good and badass, but
all the training and everything.
Yeah, and did they think she had like a boy haircut kind of? Did they think she was just some cute boy?
She Mulan'd the United States Navy.
I think she wanted to. I think when she got back, I don't think she joined the Navy, but I think she wanted to still help people and also show off her sweet fucking bod. So she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna become a lifeguard and start saving some people." And she teamed up with Pam Anderson and was lifeguard in Baywatch or whatever.
Yeah, he was on Baywatch.
Yeah.
I always forget. I always get Tommy Lee and Tommy Lee from Motley Crue and Tommy Lee Jones confused, and I thought for a while that it was Tommy Lee Jones in the Pam Anderson sex tape. Yeah. Would have been way cool.
Would have been awesome, yeah.
Tommy Lee does look like Tommy Lee Jones with night vision goggles.
Yeah. So when they're wearing the military, they have their dress uniforms, but it's just like a nicer version of their like normal work uniform. Like no other jobs do that. Like what if you like went to a funeral or a wedding and you had to wear like a nice Best Buy outfit? You know? Military's the only job. It's just like fucking get
a blue suit with the Best Buy logo on it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's because they're also
Best Buy badges.
They're pretentious. They want everyone to know that they're former veterans.
Yeah, but I want to know like someone who like loves their job at the like Verizon kiosk at the mall. Wear that out.
I support the troops. Let the record show as well. I don't mean they're all pretentious.
The improv troops.
Yeah,
the chicken tenders. Man, so that was a good theory with the Baywatch. I got one real quick involving her as well that goes before. So that actor, she was like the cute girl in E.T. And I think she grew up and got even hotter.
Stayed cute.
Got a job at Playboy, and eventually got taken to a boat to dance for some troops.
Wait, she got a job at Playboy? I thought she was a writer for Playboy.
And they're like, "Hey, you know what? You're not going to get anywhere writing those words, okay?"
They hired a Playboy writer to dance out of a cake.
Yeah.
Well, and then it was E.T. Bone Home. You know what I mean? Steven Seagal's little red finger in his pants was glowing. But I was reading that in other countries they'll alter the movies to like make them more acceptable. In the Finnish version, in Finland, they cut out like all of the violence and the boobies of the movie. What a boring movie.
Yeah, right.
What's going on? What are they even? It's just Gary Busey dancing in the dress.
If you cut out the violence, you got to cut out Busey and drag dancing around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's so funny.
Steven Seagal's cooking cruise is
Steven Seagal's cooking cruise would be an awesome name for like a boat trip, like a weekend boat trip.
The Tuco or Duchek from Breaking Bad.
Duchek was a girl we went to college with. Duchek ate that cigarette that one time. Do you remember Duchek, Arman?
No.
Well, one time, Tuco in Breaking Bad, he eats a cigarette, and Leigh and I were talking about it, and we would always get Duchek, a living friend of our woman, and Tuco, who ate the cigarettes, mixed up. We're like, man, Duchek was eating cigarettes. Man. Wait, Tuco was in this? God damn.
Yeah, but I could see the cooking cruise kind of a bunch of wusses at the start, but with Steven Seagal's help, they really become seamen.
That's where the condom comes in.
Yeah.
One of his guys is Ramirez, and I could see him loving the violence and seeing Steven Seagal and going on to start a drug empire in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Well, there's that one dude in the crew where he just doesn't want to fight. He's like, I ironed shirts during the Gulf War. Like, I'm gonna stay here with the lady, and the lady's like, "You're a little bitch. I'm gonna go get the shit."
And then she shows him how to load a gun.
Yeah, dude. There's one part where Steven Seagal like checks the chamber of the gun, and he does it with one finger.
Yeah,
just like moves it around. Guy's so strong.
Yeah, I know. With those fingertips, that's why she wanted to be by him.
Yeah, she was. I wonder. Well, I have not seen Under Siege 2. Have you?
No,
I read about it.
Yeah. Do you know what's the deal? What's going on there?
It's his brother dies, and him and his niece are on a train, and that gets taken.
I love it when I feel like people aren't taking ships or trains or buildings anymore.
Yeah.
Somalian pirates,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's got to be tougher to take a whole building or to Die Hard. That's not like the plot to many movies anymore.
No.
Ran out of structures to take.
Yeah.
But
there's no hard cash anywhere anymore.
No.
That's all money wires. You got to transfer it to some bank account.
Yeah.
Well, I got a quick theory other than the ET one. So they show a Playboy magazine in this movie, and like before that the real Playboy model gets there. And that's the same issue, same Playboy magazine that was featured in the movie Home Alone when he is home alone. So that means that this takes place within the same universe.
Yeah,
they got the same boobies.
All those guys are Macaulay, like Arman was saying. Seagal does Macaulay Culkin this ship up a little bit. That's Home Alone Lost at Sea.
I would have loved like another 10 minutes of montages of him just like pulling pieces out of stuff and dumping them in backpacks and making more, like with
explosives.
Now that you
with
say
like a funky track in the back, like I got the power.
Yeah, with a welding mask on.
Shuts it down.
Miss July with that
dancing.
Go cue ball, go cue ball, go cue ball,
juggling grenades and stuff. Go cue ball, go cue ball. They're having the best time.
Miss July with that forward baseball cap on does kind of look Macaulay Culkin-esque. I could see Macaulay Culkin posing as that Playboy model to just get into some hijinks and ends up saving Seagal.
You think Macaulay Culkin was her stunt double?
he's taking pictures of himself to pretend to her just catfish people and to like, hey boy, to trick Marv and it's just me, a real live woman. Dude. Yeah, I would have loved to see her in a just like tight wife beater and then puts down a welding mask, throwing sparks like Michelle Rodriguez style in Fast and Furious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
little body sweat, a
little footloose.
Yeah.
Yes. This should have been a musical, I think. Could have. Under Siege.
The musical.
But yeah. Really like this one.
Yeah, it was good.
Way better than I thought.
Like how you guys said Ramirez he was in Breaking Bad, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Tuco.
Yeah. He also could have been involved with Denzel in Training Day in Cali, getting drugs and shit. He was one of the gangbangers.
Hell yeah.
So that's another universe.
Denzel connection, that's all I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Dude, there's so many actors in this that I like recognized but couldn't place them.
Yeah, I agree.
Right
away. Like what's his face? Let me see if I can find him.
Tommy Lee Jones's assistant, right-hand man, looked familiar, but also that old doctor and the older bald guy that was the tech guy for Tommy Lee Jones. That man played a Nazi doctor, I bet, more than one time because he is my exact image of what a creepy Nazi doctor looks like.
Yeah, got like some weird German accent. And...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Cole Meany is the guy. I feel like he's been in a lot of stuff. He was in Law Abiding Citizen, Con Air. So he's definitely been around. That's it was actually kind of funny. You know the girl, the woman in the round circle of all the woman in the round circle with all the high up officials. The blonde. That's actually
secretary.
Yeah, the secretary. She actually Drew Ann. She was a script supervisor for Chicago Fire, and she's So she's older. She's got to be in her late 50s or whatever. So it was like insane seeing her at such a young age, and she looks good. Good for you, Drew Ann.
And you know her personally?
Yeah. She's the shit. She's awesome. She's super cool.
Damn, sweet.
She's like an old, and the funny thing too is that she's like an old school scripty, so she doesn't use a computer. It's all handwritten and stuff. She's a cool lady,
dude.
So it's kind of cool to see that.
See if she can give you any like background info on Under Siege.
Yeah, she's not the script supervisor anymore, but if I do see her, maybe I'll talk to her about it.
Dude, let's get her on the pod.
She might be down. She's a cool ass lady.
She's gonna have to call in. She can't use a computer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's got to send her letters.
Yeah.
Dude, I bet we could shoot for the stars and see if we can get some like random people from movies and zoom in because no one's doing anything. That'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, right. That would be pretty fun.
Seagal's not doing anything. I could guarantee that. Is he still alive?
We got to get Gary Busey. Like, hey,
is Gary Busey still alive?
I think so. Both of those guys are. I want to see Jones.
I want to see his teeth, and I want to see him clapping on the Zoom.
I would love it.
Steven Seagal's probably out there working the beat.
Yeah.
Just. I bet he's not wearing a protective mask.
No,
he just ties his ponytail around his mouth.
He just does his little knife fight. That's how he fights COVID.
Yeah, dude. He can put a knife in his mouth. Some bitch ass virus isn't going to take it down.
You think the virus sees him? He's like, "Hey, man, this guy puts knives in his mouth. Stay away from him."
I don't want any problems, man. Just take it easy, okay?
It'd be kind of funny to tell Steven Seagal to take it easy.
Yeah, hey, man.
Hey, take it easy, man.
I bet people are like kind of pumped to get arrested by him.
I would be.
Like, if you got to get arrested by somebody, like,
yeah,
we should make all celebrities cops.
Dude, yeah,
crime would either go up or down.
Yeah, and then you get out of it, like you get a ticket, you get their autograph. That's pretty cool. Like,
yeah, you get a picture with them in jail.
Yeah, you don't want to fight back.
Yeah,
you don't want to kill them. Like,
or maybe you do. Maybe you watched the movie and it disappointed you, and
yeah, you need high up actors.
Get ScarJo on the streets.
Yeah, dude.
That'd be nice. Denzel, yeah.
I think that's you guys have any more theories or anything any points you want to?
Not really.
Yeah.
You've seen Drag. Was really all out. That's the only thing I wrote on my paper.
I wrote it just over and over again, like in The Shining.
Yeah. Red rum.
Busey in a dress makes Erik a hard boy. Yeah, I mean, I think that's all I got. I would love to see the E.T. crossover, like if E.T. were to ever come back, or he's in Star Wars now and he's telling everybody about this smoke show.
Yeah.
The E.T. connection too works into the Charlie's Angels universe along with Home Alone.
Yeah,
the web is growing.
It's all coming together, baby.
It's really all. I mean,
we're gonna crack this soon.
Well, and also too, this movie they had George Bush as the president, so like it's real life.
This movie actually happened.
Yeah. So this movie, as far as I'm concerned, this movie actually happened.
Yeah. Tommy Lee Jones is dead. So is Gary Busey.
Yeah. Speaking of Tommy Lee Jones, I just watched No Country for Old Men recently.
Such a great movie.
That movie's good.
Yeah.
What are Rick's picks?
Rick's picks this week. I watched Do the Right Thing, Spike Lee.
Yeah.
Very good. I've never seen that one. That was like his first big movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the one that kind of put him on the map, right?
Right. It's really, really good. And then I watched The Big Lebowski. I watched Last Black Man in San Francisco. If you haven't seen that one, I would recommend it. It's very good. What else? Raising Arizona. That was on Rick's picks this week. That's an early Coen brothers.
That's the one I want to see.
Oh yeah, I told you about that.
Watched a lot of classics.
Yeah, it's been a good week, and I get to watch now that like I'm back with my dad. He all these action movies that he like hasn't had access to or whatever. We're watching those together now. Nice. I think I'm gonna show him the latest Mission Impossible. That'll be fun. All the Marvel movies.
Sick.
Oh, so he hasn't seen like a lot of these new action movies,
unless they've been like on TV and stuff.
Yeah.
No. So now, I mean, I can either like rent them or pull them up somewhere and toss them on the TV.
That's sweet.
So it's gonna be a good time.
It's always fun showing people crazy action films that they've never seen.
Yeah, gives me an excuse to watch them again too. That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, cool. Well, I give this 2 knives in the mouth way up.
That might scare our fans away. These movies, if you're going to watch any Steven Seagal movie, this should definitely be the one.
Yeah, 100%. He's great.
And you should watch every Steven Seagal movie.
4 out of 5 ponytails.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, Yeah, hopefully stay safe. I'm excited to get to Chicago in like a month. See you guys. Hopefully things have cooled down a little bit.
Hopefully you're right.
And yeah, we'll record some episodes and stuff. But for now, keep sitting, keep watching, and hanging in there.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good one.
Peace out, y'all.
See you next week.